I have a couple of special messages, one to the men and one to the ladies. It's about dependency, codependency. And I'm going to give you this message in a place of love because a lot of you don't realize what you're doing and how much impact that it can have on your family. Okay? First, I'm going to talk to the ladies. Some of you ladies have had to single-handedly handle everything in the household due to whatever situation, The other partner might not be in the picture for whatever reason. It could be death, incarceration, mental illness, substance abuse. The list goes on and on. But it's not a two-parent household. You're trying to do the best you can. But you have to work on yourself. You figure that the minute that you had that child, all learning stopped. And what you're doing now, before you got pregnant and had children, you weren't doing much with your life before then. You were kind of just riding the wave out until you came across that perfect partner who can level you up. Instead of you trying to focus on leveling yourself up, you were playing this little cat and mouse game with the world until your first child came along. Because you could try to get the person to take care of you. You were being emotionally lazy, basically. You weren't established. So here come the children, and you're in a situation where you have to take care of them by yourself, like I said, because the other partner's not in the picture for whatever reason. So what you do throughout your child's childhood, every person that you come across on a romantic basis, you're trying to figuratively place them in the position of the absent parent, no matter how the relationship goes. Some of you are doing that mentally from day one. Don't know this person from a can of paint. Some of you just seek out certain types of partners so it would fill that void, fit the mold. And you don't realize where this person has come from or what their motives are in the relationship. So over time, you're involved with this person, and this person begins to realize that they're being used because it's a form of being used. And then they're gone. So this goes on for years and years and years and years and years. Time passes, 10 years, 20 years. Children grow up and go on about their business. They start having families of their own. Now you're by yourself. You're technically by yourself. You're probably up in age. You probably have maybe a few minor health problems, but you still have a little bit of life in you where you can do things for yourself. Problem is, you never learned how to do things for yourself because you spent your whole young adult life before the kids came along looking for somebody to level you up. You never made that effort. Now, you got one or two things you could do. Number one, accept the fact that these children are grown and they got lives of their own, and you go ahead and you pick up where you left off and try to build your life. Or you can go in the other direction and become one of these meddling mamas or meddling grandmas or, just someone who feels that they need to do everything that they can to try to keep their family close to them because they don't have anybody else. You need to decide which person you're going to be. And see, the problem with that is these children grew up seeing that you were moving shady with these guys, saw that you were moving shady with these females, saw that you were manipulating a lot of these people. These children are either going to grow up doing the same thing, or they're going to be one of these type of people that's very, very hard to get along with or don't want to get along with anybody. Either way, it's not healthy. So they saw how you moved. So now all of the steam has left the engine. You don't have it in you to run around anymore. All of a sudden, you want to be home and be there and the go-to and everything else to children who saw you in a different light. They saw how shady you were. Now, is it possible for people to change? Yes. As long as it's for the good. And in this particular scenario, it's not good. You didn't change for the good. You changed because you don't have no more run left in you. And all of a sudden, the people that you screwed over, you want them to pay attention to you. But see, they have memories. You haven't come to terms with the fact that you haven't lived your life right. And you haven't made any efforts to change that. These are the people I'm talking about. But then you pull familiar rank and say, well, I'm dad, I'm grandma, everybody come to me, come to me. And then you wonder why only one of your 3 children are even taught to you. Because the other 2 remember the fuck shit that you did when you were younger. They're not going to forget that. And the only way that they're going to forgive you is they want you to own up to your shit. A lot of y'all haven't owned up to it. You got no more run in your system, and you're home all the time, and all of a sudden you want everybody to come around you in a kumbaya moment and forget all the bullshit. No. In my world, forgiveness is not just given. In my world, forgiveness is only given when somebody admits that they've done something wrong. But I ain't going to give my forgiveness out for free. I'm sorry. Now, the Creator can do forgiveness however the Creator wants to do it. But I have to live in the real world, people. Now, that's my message to the ladies. Y'all need to stop this. You got to watch how you move the minute that child comes into this world. And I speak from experience because I've been on both ends of this. And there was a lesson in both. It has a huge impact on your children, how you move. I've moved foul and I've moved correctly. And there's an impact either way. Now, the next message is for the gentleman. Guys, some of you are purposefully involved in relationships with these type of women because you want somebody to depend on you. You don't want an independent woman for nothing. You purposefully date women who have situations where they need help. Purposefully you do. Because there's a part of you that's broken that gave you the message when you were little that the only way that you can prove yourself as a man is to go around and fix broken women. Let me tell you something. When you get a little bit older and you need somebody to cover you and that steam has run out of your engine and your wallet's a little lighter, you're not going to have it in you to be taking care of all these people. And because they didn't take care of themselves because of you, now you're in a position where you need some help and you can't get nobody to help you because you didn't have independent woman. And some of you men don't want an independent woman because you're thinking that she's going to want to take over everything, and you've got this idea that independent women are spawns of the devil. I know a lot of independent women who have great relationships with their boyfriends and their husbands. They know their role as a woman. They're independent. They're capable of taking care of themselves, but also they know how to be a woman and they know how to be submissive to their man. They know how to do it. But some of y'all out here, y'all hear the word independent and that's a cuss word. For some men, the word independent is a cuss word like the word submit is to some women. Ain't neither one of y'all want to hear that. Y'all rather hear them little 4-letter words. Y'all pay attention to those. Say submit to some women around here. Boy, they ready to lay you out. Say independent to some men and they ready to lay you out. Y'all need to go see somebody. You know, if I was a man in this world, I would want an independent woman for the simple fact that I'm thinking about a rainy day. I'm not going to always be that guy. I'm not going to always be on point. Situations may happen. I might get in an accident where I can't work, and income is a little, you know what I mean. Can't talk right now. It could be a situation where I've got to leave town on an assignment. She got to run the household. I could be mentally incapacitated for some reason. I'm going to need a woman who's a female me. That's who I want to marry. If I was a man, I would want a woman who thinks the same realm that I could think. Not all the time while we're together, but I'm just saying in times of emergency, you want yourself a woman who is going to be able to hold it down properly, officially, and legally while you in the mess you in. Because you don't want to be a situation where it's illegal and then the minute everything is over with, it falls apart again. That ain't holding it down properly. I understand people got to do what they got to do, but come on. That ends after a while. But if I was a man, that's what I would want. Especially if I'm talking about putting a ring on it. I don't want somebody that I got to take care of basic things that they should have had taken care of before I met them. Every time you turn around, they got to come to me for every single little thing. If I was a man, that would get on my nerves. I'd be like, dang, woman, you can't think for yourself. But like I said, I'm not a man. I'm not a man. But I mean, we're supposed to be able to help you. And if you helping someone that can't help themselves, how are they supposed to help you when you're in a mess? So maybe you should sit down and think about that. But those are my two messages for the men and the women. This world is a tricky place. And you got to be prepared as much as you can. And be able to deal with everything as much as you can. And as well as you can. Just saying.